Cambridge to me is just a magical place. I could honestly get lost in there and spend the whole day and still not get sick of it. So today I'm going to show you what I got. They were mostly from Cambridge. There's like one or two that I got from my town's bookshops, but yeah, most of them were from Cambridge. And without further ado, let me just show you what I got. First, I pick up a classic. It's Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I can't believe I haven't read this yet. She's the mother of sci-fi. She's as badass as you can get. She lost her V-card on her mother's grave, and you know, that to me just sounds like a badass. I finally got it and I'm really excited to get into it. So The Garden of Lost and Found. This sounds very interesting. I did pick up because of the cover, but the premise sounds really interesting. Basically, there's several lives all revolving around the painting, and we're gonna learn how they're connected and how this painting affects every single one of them. So sounds really interesting, right? I didn't think that that's what's gonna be because of the garden. I don't know what I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was about some keeper of a garden that finds things, but it's completely different, the premise, and I'm very excited about it. Another classic, The History of Mr. Polly by H.G. Wells. H.G. Wells is a classic, and this book is so amazing. This is from 1959. It's such a cool edition. Like, you can see a hardcover with this like fabric, like they used to do it. It just smells like old book. I can't explain it. I love old books. I feel like they have their own charm. If you buy new books, it's just not the same thing. Come on, this is a piece of history right here. Nate Silver, The Signal and the Noise, The Art and Science of Prediction. It's a bit more of a scientific book. This talks about laws of probability and how to calculate something based on probability, really. And it's just a very technical book, which I understand it might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I find it really interesting. And I don't know, maybe one day I might want to go to a casino and then I can, you know, find probability. I don't know, I find it interesting. Okay, don't judge me. Thank you for arguing what Cicero, Shakespeare and The Simpsons can teach us about the art of persuasion. I love psychology. If you have seen my other book hauls, you know that I love psychology, and this basically helps you when you have a hard person to communicate, if that makes sense. I think it's really helpful on my line of work. I work as a cabin crew, for those of you who don't know, and sometimes you have those difficult passengers, and I find it satisfying when I can get my point across when someone that is particularly stubborn. So I like these books not to manipulate people, that's not what I mean, but like to be able to communicate better and to be able to get my point across when I have a difficult argument. There's something satisfying as to finally being able to communicate with a difficult person. So yeah. I got these 3 books, which I am sure they're not gonna last in my hands. They are from Agatha Christie, and it is $4.50 from Paddington, The Clocks, and A Caribbean Mystery. They look so cool. Like, they're hardbacks, and then they have these old covers, which are completely destroyed. Half of it was because they were already like this when I bought them. The other half, allegedly, was me. Yeah, I've very much got into Agatha Christie thanks to my boyfriend, who gifted me a book from her, and now I'm obsessed as well. And I got these 3 because of the covers. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a sucker. I know you shouldn't read a cover, but I'm a sucker for good covers. And they're old. I think they're from the 60s. Am I wrong? Are they from the 60s? 57, so they're even older than I predicted it. They're absolutely gonna get destroyed in my hands. I'm sure of it. Crazy Rich Asians. If you've seen the movie, it is chaotic. It is amazing. I absolutely love the movie. And this is the book where the movie was inspired from, so I'm quite interested to see the differences. I always like to compare movies with books and see how they translate. I love both books and movies. I like filmography. What's the right word? A lot as well. So it's my 2 loves combined, and I'm quite interested to see how the story translates. The movie was absolutely incredible for me. Just all the like excess of it. I don't know what to explain, but excited. Where the 2 worlds touch. Now, this is a bit of the opposite of the Scientifical thing. This is a bit more spiritual. This is how to deal with change, how change affects us, how we can, I don't know, just try to navigate this world. Does that make sense? I don't know how to explain, but yeah, it talks a lot about, you know, paying attention to your surroundings. Other parts, reincarnation, and I don't know, it just sounds like really interesting. So another interesting read. I got something a little bit out of my comfort zone. This is 20th Century Poetry, an anthology by Harold Monroe. Again, I got sucked in by the cover. As you can see, it looks really nice, and inside it's just a collection of poems by different authors. It's Rupert Brooke, Wilfred Owen. They even have like a 4-leaf cover in here, which I found really adorable. I could just imagine myself reading this in a hot summer's day, you know, laying in the grass, sipping a nice cold drink, and just living in a moment, enjoy the present. Very aesthetic, very Instagram, Pinterest. I don't know, I just figured it'd be nice. Just spend a few hours and enjoy my life. Another classic, I got The Reprieve by Jean-Paul Sartre. I'm going into this book completely blind, not knowing what this is about. I want to enjoy the ride and just see where this book takes me. So do not spoil it, do not say, just tell me if you like it or not, but do not tell me anything about this book because I want to go into it absolutely blind. That's it. That's all I'm saying about this. The same goes for this one. This is Franz Kafka, Metamorphosis and Other Stories. I know this is a cult classic. Everybody and their mothers have read this. I still haven't read this. It's finally the moment. I'm gonna read this. And again, I'm going in completely blind because I want to discover it. I want to just go with my mind blank. Just like now explaining this book. Completely blank. The Girl Before, if you've seen The Girl in the Train and The Woman by the Window, what am I saying? Those kinds of books, this is the same style. This is like a psychological plot twist filled book. Basically this girl, she rents an apartment and the owner is kind of a bit sketchy, and then she finds out the previous tenant has died in the apartment and she doesn't know why, she doesn't know how, and everything starts to become a little bit suspicious. So yeah, I'm expecting to get my mind blown, although I feel like a lot of books like this have come out in the last few years, so this might be the more of the same thing, but it is recommended by the Girl on the Train author, so if you like The Girl on the Train, this should be kind of the same vibe. I don't know why I'm doing this. We're going with it. Another brainy book is The Brain, the Story of You. It's basically it's a neuroscientist telling us how our brain works. I simply got this for like general knowledge, just because I like to know things, and I figured why not learn a little bit about our brain. That's it. That's the whole explanation. That's the whole reason why I got this book. On the same line of general knowledge, I got the Book of General Ignorance. General ignorance, general knowledge. I didn't do that on purpose, I promise. Some people might recognize the show QY. I love seeing clips of it on TikTok. I always learn something when I watch those clips, and this is two of the hosts, by the way. I always find it interesting, and this is just basically it. This is just basically, like, for example, who discovered penicillin? I don't know why I don't know how to read that word. What causes stomach ulcers? You know, basically just general knowledge things, curiosities, and it's just, if it's anything by the show, it should have a little bit of humor on it as well, so it just makes it a lot more interesting to read, and it's not just like facts. Just hopefully it is gonna be an interesting read. God, I think we're finally halfway through. This is a lot, okay? This is a lot. I got from the beautiful, from the amazing, from the fantastic Jane Austen, I got Emma. I watched the movie with Anya Taylor-Joy. I absolutely love it. It is like comedic as well as romantic, and this is supposed to be the same, probably less spicy because it's not the 21st century here. So I'm thinking it's gonna be a little bit spicy. By spicy I mean funny, not like spicy, but like funny. Anyways, I assume it's gonna be a little bit more tamer than the movie is, but still very interesting. Jane Austen, gotta love her, so for sure it's gonna be a good book. Just has to be. I hope this is my last Scientifical book. I'm not sure, but I think this is the last one. This is The Elements, a very short introduction. Basically, it just gives you a tiny resume of all the elements of the periodic table, I believe. So that's it. It was 50 pence. I figured, why not? You know, general cultural, general knowledge. Why not? So I got this book. This is the life-changing magic of not giving a fuck. And I have to say, I don't give a fuck about this book. I'm sorry, I apologize to the author, but I didn't even finish because I went halfway and I just couldn't anymore, because basically you can resume the whole book just simply saying you're allowed to have your own priorities and you're allowed to have your own boundaries and you're allowed to say no to people. That's it. That's the whole point of the book. That's the whole, yeah. And she just repeats herself over and over and over again, and then gives examples of situations, but it's basically the same thing over and over again. It's like, you deserve to have your boundaries, you deserve to say no to people, and you deserve to have your own priorities. That's it. That's the whole book. So I'm gonna donate this book. Hopefully somebody else is gonna enjoy it more. I have to admit it, I did not like this. I'm sorry, but did I get this book for the cover? Yes, it is Fingers in the Sparkle Jar, a memoir. In a world that didn't understand him, it would take a magical relationship with a kestrel for a young boy to learn the lessons of love, life, and acceptance. I have no idea what a kestrel is, by the way. A memoir, so is it supposed to be like a biography sort of thing? Looked interesting, I like the cover. 50 pence, I figured, why not? Tell you later if I like it or not. Let's see. This is another book that I think I'm gonna redonate. The Vintage Sweets book. Now, nothing against this book. This is a beautiful book. The recipes look super yummy. The pictures look really appetizing. Just look at that. It looks really, really good. This is the Parma Violet Cocktail. It looks really nice. How to make marshmallows, stuff like that. The reason why I'm going to return it, it's simply because I do not see myself cooking any of these recipes. That's literally the only reason why I'm going to return this book, because everything looks really appetizing, everything looks very well written. It's just that I barely have time to do anything. I barely have time to do YouTube. As you guys can see, I'm not very frequent uploaded because I just don't have time. So I don't think I'm gonna have time to do any of these recipes, and I figured I might as well donate it to someone who can actually love this book and can actually do the recipes and to give it a lot more use than I would. And yeah, that's the only reason why I'm giving this away, because I figured it deserves to be loved, because it looks so cute and the recipes look so yummy, you know. Okay, we're almost over. You got almost over, I promise. It's almost there. I got The Language of Flowers. Basically, this is a story of grief. This woman, she has difficulties communicating with people, and she uses the language of flowers. Like, for you guys that don't know, every flower is supposed to have a meaning. It came from the Victorian ages, and like for rose, for passion, and you know, stuff like that. You can Google that. I'm not gonna go into it, but basically she's absorbed by grief and she doesn't know how to communicate with people, so she uses flowers to express herself. Now she gets discovered for her talents, whatever, and that's where the plot starts basically. And it just sounds really, really interesting. Besides the fact that I love plants, I love flowers, the whole expressing yourself through something other than words sound really like interesting. So yeah, I figure why not. Let's see what this takes us. Catcher in the Rye, another classic. Again, I'm going into it completely blind. I know this is like one of those books that you read in school, but school in Portugal is a lot different, so don't judge me. We read different books that you've probably never heard in your life as well. So just yeah, I'm going into it completely blind, completely excited up as well. Yeah, what's this? Oh, it's the original American text, so this is supposed to be the original version, so even better. I didn't even notice that. There you go. The 14th Letter. Yes, another book I got because of the cover, I realized, but the plot sounds really interesting. Basically, this is their engagement party and the bride gets killed, and the person that killed the bride tells the groom, oh, I just saved your life, sort of thing. And then he's like, what? So it sounds really interesting. Like, why does he need to be saved? Who is this girl? what? You know what I mean? Like, what is going on? Sounds interesting, right? Okay, second to last book I have, One Day. If you've seen the movie, like, I don't cry in movies, but I cried on this one, and I'm sure I will cry with the book. I'm sure it's gonna be gut-wrenching as the movie was. Again, like, same thing as the Crazy Rich Asians. I want to compare the movie with the book, but if the book is anything as good as the movie is, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna need tissues while I'm reading this because it is devastating. If you know, you know. It's probably one of my favorite movies as well. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's just so sad. Just so sad. And it just shows you how your life can completely change from one moment to another one. And it's, also, for those of you guys who don't know the plot, like, the plot is really interesting. It basically shows you one day in the lives of these two people across the years. So it's basically like 1991, 1992, always the same day, and it just shows you how things change from year to year. And God, just watch the movie, but like with tissues next to you. But do watch it because it's really, really good. And last but not least, it is the Home Sweet Home. I know what I said about the other book that I was going to return it. However, this book, I used to have the book in Portuguese back home, and I lost it because I've moved so many times that I just end up losing the book. But this is the book that taught me how to bake. I used to bake so many cakes back in Portugal. I haven't done it here, unfortunately, but I used to bake so much. And, you know, I just miss it, and I miss baking, and I saw it, and I knew I had to have it. I already had it in my mind that I wanted to buy it, but buying it online was really expensive, and then I finally found this for £5, and it was like a gift of the universe. Do you ever have that when you think about something and then it just shows up in real life? It happens a lot with me. So I saw it and I was like, okay, this is a gift from the universe, I have to have it. And hopefully one day I'm gonna have time to cook everything again. Honestly, just like flipping through the pages, I can just remember the smells of baking, and it sounds really, really strange, but I'm very excited. I want to start baking again eventually when I do have time. Even if I don't, I'm still gonna keep this as memories. And why is the sun hiding now? Anyways, why is now the sun hiding? Can the sun come back, please? Just for the outro. God damn it. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry this was such a long video. I hope you guys enjoyed it anyways. I did say that it was a lot to go through. I have more videos right there if you want to go and watch it, and always subscribe because for sure there will be more book hauls to come. And that's it. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.